All right, guys, it's March 30th, the day after my birthday, and I got a chance to do a little bit on the jet skis today. I kind of wanted to just walk you through kind of what I did and maybe a couple pointers of what kind of threw me for a loop along the way. I ran into a little bit of, just hiccups, which were no big deal, but let me kind of show you a couple things. First, I rewrapped this pad right here. It's a little dirty because I was digging around, and I redid these buttons. In order to do so, you just get like I used a letter opener, and you just pry it out and you just fish the new one in. Same thing with the VTS. In order to do so, what you have to do is you pop out that plug right there, and there's a, I want to say, is it 10 millimeter? Somewhere around a 10 millimeter. You take that out, and then make sure you don't lose any parts. And then underneath, there's an Allen screw right there. You got to undo that. So you got to do that on each side. And then there's a 5.5 millimeter right here and a 5.5 millimeter right here. So there's 4 of those. And then this whole compartment right here will open up. You have to pull these back a little bit after you take the grips off. So whenever you do so, I had to do that in order to rewrap this. And then what I also did was, there was the buzzard, whenever you plug in your key, it's supposed to go beep beep, and it doesn't. So I got online and did some research, and I actually got mine off of eBay. I think it was $21, and I only bought one, even though the other one doesn't work as well. But what I wanted to do is make sure it worked on one before the other. So basically what I did was, it sits right in here in the handlebars. There's a little clip. So I'd go ahead and buy one that's specific. You can get them from Radio Shack or whatnot, but you don't want to go around having to freaking solder shit down and keep it secure. So you just kind of want to keep it, in the clips and everything, OEM. So then I plugged it in. Let me get the key. And it wasn't working at first, but I think just jiggling it around. Now we're money. And I really didn't even care about the beep starting up, but really all I wanted was what I wanted was a little bit of security, knowing that whenever it's going to overheat, the buzzard actually works. Because whenever we took him out for the first time when we first got him, I noticed my wife's wasn't peeing water, so I knew it wasn't cooling. So we put him back up, and then I brought it home, and I basically found that line that the water discharge from the cooling system spits it out the side, and I kind of just pinched it. And then after I pinched up and down the wire, I took my air compressor and just shot air in there and then hooked it up to the hose, and then it just started pissing water, so we were good. I will give you a little advice whenever you are doing that: hook up the water, but don't turn it on. What you want to do is start the jet ski for a few minutes, or not a few minutes, I'm sorry, for about 15 seconds, then turn on the water and then run it. And then you want to turn the water off first, and then run it at about 5,000 RPMs before killing the engine. So you got to be a little specific, I think, because you don't want to get water up in there or you'll ruin it. So that's what I did thus far. I know I hadn't made a video in a long time, but I did this. I fixed the buzzard. I did wrap my seats. I wrapped the seats. This is a funny story. I bought some cool seat covers. They were yellow, black, and gray. I think they're in one of my other videos. And then after I wrapped my seat, I put the seat on, and the yellow was a totally different yellow than the jet ski. So I didn't bother to set it up next to the paint and compare before using it. So I kind of ruined one. So then I found some local guy that wraps seats and does that. So that ended up costing me about $400, but it's worth it, not having to kind of go around and find things and and then do the work. $400, the seats will be ready. So I figured I got some time to work on these. So I have the seat torn off of my wife's. I have the seat torn off of mine. But you can see it's still looking pretty good. I kind of taped off the edges right here just to see where I was going to put the stickers and to get them as even as possible. But yeah, back to one of the the big roadblock or hiccup that I ran into along the way. I pointed out these Allen screws down in here. Well, as I was working, wrapping the stuff, a bolt fell out of nowhere. And I was like, where did this bolt come from? And I didn't see where it came from, so I had no idea where it was supposed to go. So I was like, well, I'll figure it out along the way, I'm sure. So then whenever it came time for me to put the steering column and everything back together, I noticed that the Allen screw that you see right there, oops, let me turn this around, that you see right there, it wasn't going in. And I was like, man, why was this not going in? It just will not work. So I just kind of thought about it, and as I was thinking about it, I reached down and grabbed that little nut that fell out of the sky, and lo and behold, that's what it went into. So then I knew I had two pieces of the puzzle. I just had to figure out where it went. So I actually pulled this out and then climbed on top and shined a flashlight down in there so I could see. So in here, underneath, there's a little square, almost like a slit like this, and that nut slides right into that U and it keeps it stable. So that Allen screw goes through the plastic into the nut, and then there's a hole in here that's too small for the Allen screw to go into. However, what it does is the tip of it goes into there in order to keep this stuff secure. So if you come across that problem, just that nut is probably not aligned, and therefore, you know, there's nothing for that Allen screw to bite into or anything like that to secure itself. So a little word of advice. But next time I have a video, I'll probably have mine totally done. I'll have the seat, there's not too much done. I'll have to re-clean all of this just because I chose not to put the traction mats on there until I have everything else done. So until next time, thank y'all very much, and y'all have a good night and a great weekend. We'll see you. Bye.